Most people think that getting clients requires a specific script or high-pressure sales technique, but it doesn't. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to get clients without scripts, without performative pressure, and without pitching or persuading. The hardest part of selling is not explaining what you do. It's the anxiety and the performative pressure that comes from it. And the way you remove that pressure is by shifting the conversation into consultative selling. Now, when I say consultative selling, I mean you treat the conversation like a consultation and not a sales call. You're not trying to talk someone into buying. You're trying to see what's really going on so that there's clarity of the real problem and help them decide what their next best step is. Now, when I first learned about consultative selling, it was like a breath of fresh air for me. I stopped feeling like I had to put on a mask and perform. Instead, I could have real, authentic conversations with prospects. In consultative sales, we're often told our job is to diagnose the client. But for introverted experts, there's a deeper, more effective approach. The goal is to seek to understand. When you do this right, working with you becomes the natural next step. And sometimes the next step is realizing that you're not a fit to work together. And that's okay. Every conversation doesn't need to turn into a sale. Your time and energy are worth more than the mental exhaustion of taking on the wrong client. Ask me how I know that. And the way you avoid the wrong client is the same way you attract the right ones. You lead with understanding, because most prospects are problem aware. They know something isn't working. What they want is to feel like someone actually gets what they're dealing with. But most consultants do the opposite. They jump to solutions too fast. They start pushing an answer before they've shown the client with empathy that they truly grasp the real issue. And that is where the conversation starts to feel like sales, because the client hasn't felt seen yet. It's like going to the doctor with chest pain and the doctor keeps telling you that you need a knee brace. You don't care about a knee brace. You need the doctor to see that you have chest pain. And you want to know what the doctor is going to do to make the pain to go away. That is one of the biggest mistakes that experts can make. Jumping to solutions when you haven't shown that you get the problem. The better that you can articulate their problem, the more strongly they'll believe that you are the right person to solve it. And when you can do that, you don't need to convince them of your skills. You don't need to sell yourself. You have already proven the thing that they care about most, that you understand their reality. That's the real shift. It moves the conversation away from performative selling into consultation. The prospect starts to experience you as a partner, not as someone trying to sell them something. Now, when I say seek to understand, I mean more than just the surface level problem. You want to see 3 layers. The first is the urgent problem that they want solved. Second, what is that problem costing them right now? And third, what's the long-term cost if they don't do anything? The third one matters more than most people realize, because people are creatures of habit and comfort. Change feels risky. Even when it hurts staying the same, it feels comfortable. So the cost of doing nothing has to often become higher than the cost of finding a solution. And that cost is not always obvious. Sometimes it's not even directly financial at first. As an example, imagine that by doing nothing, they lose their top 2 employees. Now, you're not just dealing with a resignation, you're dealing with the cost of replacing them, the cost of onboarding, the lost institutional knowledge, and the hit to morale. That can quickly turn into hundreds of thousands of dollars lost. And here's what happens when you help a prospect see that clearly. They become motivated to solve the problem, not because you pressured them, because you help them see that the stakes are really high. And when the prospect grasps the true cost, you become the logical choice. They don't need to be convinced, no high pressure sales tactics. By seeking to understand, you make them feel seen. Articulate the real problem in a way that's easy for them to recognize, and make the cost of doing nothing really clear. When you do that, the conversation becomes a consultation. Now, if you want to build a full system that brings you clients without the hard selling, I break it down in my free masterclass. The link is in the description.